this work. Help me to bring it to completion.
Welcome to the Firebird Homestead channel. Today I'm going to show you guys my gray water system, Blackwater system, and finishing up the water systems and drain, all that stuff. We'll get into that. Hope you guys enjoy. So I'm going to show you guys some videos of me building the frames. I have some metal frames for them to get mounted up underneath the bus. As far as specs go, the Blackwater tank for only the toilet is 50 gallons. Should hopefully last like a week or two before we need to dump it. And then our gray water tank is 30 gallons, which that's gonna be open, I think, all the time, because with the amount of water spigot usage in this bus, it'll probably fill that up pretty quick, maybe a day or two. So that'll probably be open, and that's usually just salty water anyway, especially if you're careful. So let me show you around some of the stuff and we'll get into it. All right, let's show you what we just got in the mail. All right, packages, fun things, money spent. All right, 2 tanks, black tank, it's 50 gallons by Rec Pro. Came with a bunch of fittings to attach directly on top for the toilet, because that's what it's for. Various amount of gaskets and things like that. Trying to go into all that right here. Gray water, which is only a 30-gallon tank. Gray is for sinks, drains, all that, except for the toilet. So, and then over here we have all of our HEPVO valves. I think it's HEPVO and not HEP0. And I'll show you, try to show you up in close here. So it's a straight pipe. Then you see how it's like, you can kind of see at the end there, it closes off. So you go like this, and water can pass through that way. But then it stops, and then gases, once it gets wet, it's supposed to seal. And then various little turny things, you know, a 90, you can have it vertical or horizontal. All right, and then we got a bathtub drain kit. We got a double sink drain kit, which has stuff for that is 1.5 inch, yep. It does have P-traps, but we'll be using more 1.5 inch HEPVO valves, which look really close and similar to that. Almost a little nicer though. Those look really nice. Yeah, anyway, same thing, just different brand. And okay, real quickly before I get going on some more stuff, let's go over what we got here as far as supplies and stuff. I bought a bunch of this 1.25 inch by 1.25 inch, I think it's 1/8 inch angle iron. This is what I'm using for on the sides to go underneath the tank, and same for over here. And then what I'm doing is I have inch and I think it's 1 inch by 1.5 inch to 2 inch. I think it's, yeah, it must be 2 inch. Rectangular tubing, this stuff right here at the ends. And then to it, we have the little roof raise. This is from the roof raise. I cut them in half and then we weld them on. So basically we're gonna have, say we cut this in half, right? We're gonna have half of it up and half of it on our tank. And then we'll have this all thread, which is also from the roof race, and I'll probably cut it in half. And then you'll have an adjustability, so nut on the bottom, or top and nut on the bottom. And so you can raise or lower the tank as much. It allows for a little bit of a ability to adjust the drop in case you're, you park somewhere and you can't adjust the height, like the level of the bus. And so you need to adjust that so you get the proper, you know, inch or a 1/4 inch per foot of drop that they require. But this also has it built in, because this is less than this. So if you build this to level or parallel to the top, then this has its built-in drop. Like you don't have to, I don't really have to think about it. I do have to think about it with that tank a little bit, but that's all gray water, so it should be easier. And it'll have the same system with this, but it'll only have 1/2 inch thread instead of, I think that's either 3/4 inch. Yeah, that must be 3/4 inch thread right there. So, all right, we're gonna get into this. That one I have to design a little more, and I kind of want to figure out some mid brackets to either put, you know, that another bracket on there or something similar. So I'm not really sure. I just want to make sure this thing's really well supported. I'm not sure how well this will do right as it is. So, all right, let's go. Okay, so we got a couple of things welded up here. This one I did yesterday. I did add a couple extra pieces in here for structural rigidity. It will be flipped like this, and the tank will be sitting on top of there. So looking pretty good, And the smaller tank, man, does it look smaller. But it's also taller, so, you know, it's not that much smaller, but I did put a couple of pieces in here, hopefully keep it from sliding. I think those side pieces, these little guys will probably do the same thing, but this guy's also got a middle support. Should be real nice and solid, and ready to get some work done underneath here. So my space that I have, also something I have not showed you yet. Little door here to access my dump valve. So to the left will be our gray water tank, and both of the tanks will sit just underneath here, so nothing will be hanging out underneath. And then black tank will be under this side. So basically you'll come in here, you'll have a valve right in front of us, and then you'll have a gate valve. You can open one side or the other. Dump them together. Usually you dump the the Blackwater first and then the gray water. Anyway, so I gotta figure out some kind of mounting hardware for the threaded bolts to go up onto these somehow. And I haven't quite figured that out, and I think that's gonna be next week's project. But I think temporarily I'm going to take some strapping that I have, some metal strapping, and it'll just sit it up there. I'll get the frames and everything up there after I maybe spray paint them, because that's gonna rust if I leave that out for too long, like a couple days if it rains. But yeah, real nice. Got the space under there. I should have all the piping and everything I need. I gotta get a couple more pieces of 3-inch piping, because this is gonna go underneath and across, and I'll show you where our dump spot is. Okay, so this is on the other side. Bit of a mess because I needed to move this stuff out. But you come over here, got a little road here, and the dump spot is right here. Actually, right into the septic. So that's just over 20 feet to the side of the bus, maybe like 25. So I'm just gonna get some smooth black pipe, ABS 3-inch pipe, and we are going to put that under there because unlike the regular RV dump like hoses, these won't allow it to clump up or anything or get trapped. So as long as you have a good drop the entire way, it should be perfectly good and shouldn't have any problems with it. Check this out. We had a fire going last night and it was still going pretty good. At least the coals were pretty good. And now I have a log, a very big round, and it is going pretty good. So important stuff. I want to show you because I've been doing stuff and not taking a video. That's my motto, apparently. Okay, so a couple drains are done. We have one drain down here. The bathtub drain is in. Should be good. Hopefully it doesn't leak. Obviously I want to check all that once I get them all hooked up down below. I have one pipe into a tank and all the tank fittings are plumbed in. So technically, as long as I have a pipe going into one of my holding tanks, it can go out, at least get not dumped right below our bus. So it can be kind of directed. So I just want to show you all of my piping system down below. But first, I'm going to show you that this toilet is technically installed. It's a little wobbly because it needs something underneath it, like the flooring or little shimming. But it is screwed down, or the base is screwed down, and the flange is in and all that. Water is not hooked up, so I have some. I put some. This is a Simple Green Plush Dawn dish soap solution, just to kind of flush some stuff down, and you know, because there's lots of dust and things. And I got some water, and I just wanted to show putting some water down and see how excuse me, see how it flows down. This is also a test. This is a test. Make sure everything does flow downhill. Excuse me. Apparently I need to drink some water. But let me show you how this operates. It's pretty simple, but a little foot pedal thing here. And if you, oh my goodness, this is a tight bathroom, especially when you're, okay, I'm just gonna sit on the wall back here. Okay, so this foot pedal is how you flush and how you like rinse. So little half push and it's filling with water. And then now it's gonna start. Also, it has no air valve, so it's gonna do that where it kind of burps air up. I'm gonna put some more in there until I'm somewhat okay with the result. Okay, at least I cleaned it out, huh? All right, get that the rest of the way done. All right, so technically you could use this. It's just gonna go into the tank and hold there for a while. It is a 50-gallon tank, so all right, let's go outside. Okay, so here is our setup. We got our black tank, our gray tank, framing, the bolt hardware going up. That's how it's holding that guy. I have nothing holding this up right now other than these straps, which are pretty solid. I have two screws in each. 4 on that side. The other one I needed access in to put the inlet. So there's the toilet inlet. There is nothing going into this tank. I was thinking about using this one, but I'm not 100% sure. I might, I don't know, I could use that for the vent, and then I could just put them in, and then I have a special, that was actually a gasket or a rubber thing, and it has this little piece that goes through and it locks it in place. So I might use the same system because I have a couple of those. So I can use one of them for here for the vent and one over here, and I will, I don't know, put it maybe somewhere in the middle maybe for the inlet. And then, I mean, it wouldn't make sense to have the vent lower, but I don't know really. Let's check out if I can pull that, and I think I heard water, but we'll keep this open and we'll go over there and see if water comes out. Pardon the mess, it's kind of a mess over here, so I'm gonna have to push things out of the way. But I also don't want things just getting wet. All right, first thing, cap. Uh-oh, is that water? That is water. Uh-oh, something's wrong with that. Okay, well, I'm not gonna stand right there, but that's from the toilet. Would you look at that? So yeah, that's kind of concerning how that doesn't want to seal all the way over there, but we'll figure it out. I don't know why, if that's just something wrong with it or if there's a seal missing, but all right, we'll close that off. Now at least it's had some nice water go through it and flush it. And there's our dump, so probably about 25 feet, but I'll probably get 3 sticks of the 3-inch and then put them together, and then I'll have a little dump spot. So starting on the outside of the bus here, I made myself a little hatch to get in. That's my prop open hatch. So you prop it open, gain a little better access. Eventually I'll have a little thing like that compartment does where you hook it. All right, and there is our Blackwater tank. There is our gray water tank. So this one's clear. It's kind of a dual. You can do it a gray or freshwater tank, but this is being used as a gray. You can see our valves right here. We have our black tank 3-inch, and then we have our gray tank, which is 1.5 inches. That's on its own gate valve. So you could dump this by itself or this by itself. The standard practice for RVing Blackwater, gray water tanks is you dump your Blackwater first, you rinse it, you dump it again, you let it fill up a little bit, rinse it again, all that, and then you always want to have a little bit of water before you start using it again. And then the gray water tank will get flushed after to flush anything in the line down to the dump spot, which you can see my ditch down there. I'll show you guys that in a second. That flushes anything else out the drain. So this thing, you can see it's got the inlet on the top. I have a vent. Well, that's not a vent. That's actually just you know, a plug. So then a couple of things on this side, inlet, outlet. This is just plugged off because they had some inlet outlets for spigot usage and all that. But this one's actually hooked up to this spigot right here through the wall. I'll put it right in there, boom. And this is my gray water flush, kind of an interesting system. You just backfill a valve, you know, and it goes into there, and then you can fill it with water if you need to. You will need a double male, I'm realizing, but that's okay. Now there are vents also on these. These tanks need to be vented. That is a vent right there. Gray water tank could be vented from underneath, whereas the Blackwater tank has to get vented above the roof. Instead of going through the roof, up through the floor, all that stuff, I just went outside, and then I'll show you. The Blackwater intake is right there. The toilet is that big tank pipe going down. And this is a pretty big, hefty tank. I have these brackets here. Those are gonna eventually get tied up. Right now it's just held up by these guys. They should be sufficient for a little while. But this guy is actually held up by a little bit smaller all thread with these actually bolted in. So this guy's actually pretty much set, whereas this guy's not quite. So we're actually very lucky, and the dump spot is only 25 feet away. You know, a little road here. So I dug a ditch, and I'm using 3-inch ABS because I didn't want to use that regular RV, you know, dump hose, because it's corrugated and it'll kind of gum up probably. They only sell 20-foot sections, the longest, and so I figured we'll just put one in solid. Shouldn't have any worries. I have a pretty good slope here. And then here is our, actually there might be some water behind there. Hey, there is some water. That's just from the gray tank. But there's our outlet. You can actually take this whole thing off, boop, there's a connection on that valve over there that I showed you. And then this thing actually, you can actually see there's water behind there because it's clear. But another gate valve that you can open up if you want to separate that guy out. So very nice system. Let's show you guys some of the drains in the inside. All right, so looking amazing in here. I was dumping some dirty water in here. The water's not on right now, but that'll dump down into the black tank. And if you do a half press on here, it'll rinse that out. I will do that because I want to rinse that out. I don't want that to stain. That's our sink connection. And then this is our sink drain right here. Just goes straight down, and then that connects into the main line to go to the gray tank. This drain right here will go, is going straight down. This is the Hep V, whatever, special P-trap, waterless P-trap. You can see it's kind of a diaphragm in there, so it closes on itself when there's no water. Very nice. That's on the sink, the shower, and the kitchen sink. So let's go over to the kitchen here. All right, and that is our kitchen drain right there. Just got that special adapter so you can get a pipe that goes 1.5-inch pipe that just slips in there, and that's like twist it and it locks it in there. As far as water systems, we are all tested and solid on our water systems. Here's our kitchen spigots. So we can turn it on and off right here, and we'll have access to the back of the sink. Not super easy, but like easy enough that you could open the door here and then should be able to access it. But that's on right there. We can power it up and show you kind of some water usage in it. And yeah, the toilet's the one thing that's kind of connected up and should work, so we'll show you that. Another thing I should mention, this is the inlet. We have a inline filter just to get out sediment, and it's a taste pier, so hopefully it'll help any bad tasting water, which we shouldn't have. This is a 50-foot, which I didn't need, but it's the only one they had in a 3/4 inch size, so that I could, make sure that I'm getting the most flow. We have a pressure gauge with a regulator. I actually have to put this cap on because otherwise this valve leaks. But we'll turn this on and we will show you the pressure, and we'll go inside. Alrighty, so we turn this guy on. I already did a little bit of flushing to flush down the dirty water, but half press flush is kind of like a rinse, and then to fill it if you don't have water in there, because that's kind of like the P-trap, is you have water in there and that makes sure that that seal not only is holding back the smell, but the water is, so that is really good. Now fully down flush, and that's a nice flush because we do have that tank vented. If we didn't have the tank vented, and it also does have another toilet seat on there. If it didn't, it would actually like bubble up, and any gases that were building up would escape and blast you in the face, and that would be not good because things like methane and bad smelly gases like that would come up. So really awesome. We're gonna get the sink mounted pretty soon since we have the paint starting to go on, and then we'll hook up all that. And I'm not sure, I might need to change up things on the position of the bathtub because there's like a little bit of leak, I think. At least I'm kind of sure there's a leak, at least in the drain. So I gotta figure that out. So we're gonna have to dump this tank because it's actually getting pretty full. So let's see if we can figure out how to do this. And it's kind of leaking right there. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this pipe out of the ditch, and then we're gonna just see if this will run through. Okay, I opened it up for just a half second, but here goes the water. You can see it has a little tinge to it because we did add a little pod to freshen up the water. But that's just water. There's no pee or anything in there. But that tells me we have a good flow. And if we have any places where the water gets trapped, you know, we'll know. But yeah, we'll get that tank dumped and we'll see how it ends up, because I think we just dumped like 50 gallons in a very short time. So this RV treatment I was talking about, this, which lasts like 7 days-ish, we'll see, is a little pod that you drop in the tank. So I guess for the black tank, you know, you just put it in the toilet, let it dissolve, and I put it in there. For the gray tank, might be a little more difficult because there's not a direct, easy into it. So we'll see how that works. You might, I mean, you can maybe just wash it down the sink, honestly, but I think this one's basically for the toilet. So yeah, that's our RV gray water and Blackwater systems. Coming together really good. Those should be usable as far as the toilet. The toilet's usable. It's just we need to connect a couple of things on the black pipe out there to get it 100%. And then this shower is the main reason why I think that we're gonna have to have that gray water tank fully open, because we have 2 shower heads and they run pretty fast, quick, you know, so definitely either gonna have to add another tank to be able to support holding and then dumping all together, or dump out a lot, like every day you dump it, or you just keep it open. So I think we'll probably opt for the third option there. But anyway, that's today's video. I appreciate you guys watching. Keep you guys posted. Soon, hopefully get you another video on, I don't know, a lot of detail work. There's just a lot of, oh, you know what? I was thinking about it. Kitchen will be the next video. All right, peace out.